morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Calabugas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you watch on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you'll be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I greatly appreciate it. So, one of my favorite shows, one of my absolute favorite shows is back. That's right, folks. Futurama is back. And if you're not familiar with Futurama, where have you been? Where have you been all this time? We're finally going to see season 11 of Futurama come back to the small, medium, and large screen, whatever screen size you happen to have, on this month. So season 11 is going to be in June of 2023. It is coming back. One of my favorite things about Futurama is that they really did a good job of predicting the future. I mean, remember there was this one episode where they had a super futuristic car and it had no windows. And of course it had no windows because in the future, we wouldn't want to get into an accident where a window might break and somebody might get hurt. Oh no. So the entire inside of the car was covered with screens and the outside was completely opaque. There were no windows. There was no way. It was the safest ever automobile. Great futurists on that show. And if you're interested in the future, you should go back and watch Futurama. Plus, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And there's this running joke in Futurama where Bender, who is a robot, actual robot built in Mexico, wants to be a chef. He loves cooking. He wants to be a chef, so he wants to cook for his human crew. And of course, there is one small issue with a robot cooking for humans, is that a robot has no taste buds. So a robot has no idea what things taste like. Robots cannot possibly be good chefs because they don't know what goes together, what tastes good. And the joke is that whenever he tries to cook anything for anybody, it is so salty that people basically they pass out from sodium overdose. So this was in the early days of Futurama, seasons and seasons ago. And here we are in 2023, the world of ChatGPT, the world of AI, the world of OpenAI, where you can go to ChatGPT right now and ask ChatGPT to give you a recipe for anything. You want to make salsa? Just go in there and say, hey, can you give me a recipe for salsa? And it will generate a recipe for salsa. In fact, it will generate a recipe for anything. You can ask it for anything, and it'll generate a recipe for it. Now, going by the Bender rule of food, do we really want AI to create food for us? AI, robots, they don't taste. They cannot taste. All they can do is look back at the history of what we've been putting together as ingredients and come up with some kind of facsimile of what it could be like. So you could go in there and say, hey, I want some blue cheese stuffed burgers. And it could come out with a recipe that is so horrific you could keel over. It tastes horrible. Because, like Bender, ChatGPT does not know what things taste like. It has never tested a recipe. It has never tried a recipe. It doesn't know how to cook. And it will never know how to cook. And this is one of the reasons why I keep saying, over and over again, like a broken record, there are some jobs that humans should only always do. And there are some jobs that AI is better suited to do. You know, things that are rules-based, things that are law and order-based, things that have an exact way of doing them, an exact way of not doing them, or multiple ways of not doing them correctly. But something like the best cheesecake, or the best burger, or the best pizza, something like that, we can't leave to AI. AI's got to stay out of our kitchens, and unless it's actually helping us, don't ask for it. Please don't ask your AI to create a recipe for anything. It is bound to be a disaster, like everything Bender has ever made. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.